Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Supercar News of the Week, bringing you up to date with all the sort of latest news and happenings in the world of supercars. So let's dive into the first story. Now, you've all probably heard of the McLaren Senna. There's the McLaren Senna GTO, which is a track version, and there's also a very rare McLaren Senna LM, which is a road version of the track version, if that makes sense. There's only 20 LMs that were made, so it's a super rare car, and unfortunately one of them has hit a pole, quite badly actually. So you probably think that it's probably caused by an inexperienced driver. Actually not the case. It was actually owned and rumoured to be driven by the Formula 1 driver Adrian Sutil. Now, if the name Adrian Sutil sounds a bit familiar, it's because he was a Formula 1 driver. It just wasn't hugely successful. He's German national, now lives out in Monaco, and so he ended up crashing into a pole. So it's a bit unfortunate that he's sort of had this accident, but I suspect that this car's going to be back on the road fairly soon, because if you look at what happened with the McLaren F1 that Rowan Atkinson wrote off, that was back on the road a little bit later. I mean, it took a little bit of time for it to be repaired and everything, but it did make it back onto the road, and now those cars have just shot up in value, so that was well worth it. Next up, another bit of sad news, I'm afraid. Imagine always dreaming of buying a Ferrari, and finally you're able to do it, and you're Italian on top of that, so it's like national pride and all of that. So poor chap in Italy who's unnamed, he managed to save up and buy himself a lovely Ferrari F430 Spider, which is great, you know, white colour, Rosso Corso and everything like that, so exactly what he wanted. Went to pick up the car. On his way home, after picking up the car, and the car catches fire. So unfortunately, for him, the car is written off. It's beyond repair. It can't be salvaged. Economically, probably not worth salvaging either. But it's a real shame. Probably some fault of the dealer, I reckon. Maybe something to do with the fuel hoses. They do perish, and I guess it wasn't checked properly. Maybe it was serviced and not reassembled properly. But doesn't change the fact that the car is now gone in ashes. Feel really bad for the owner, but what can you do? What can you say? Hopefully it was all fully insured and he gets fully paid out. Finally up, we've got news of a Ferrari SP30, which is for sale. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the car, it's Ferrari SP, so the special program series is basically for extremely wealthy owners who want to have a unique Ferrari, which is based on an existing model. So this particular model was designed and developed by Ferrari, but for an owner called Chirag Araya, who's an Indian-born packaging and plastics tycoon. So this is probably one of the most unusual SP projects, and in theory it shouldn't work, and you'll understand why in a second. So back in 2012, he asked Ferrari to design him a special car based on the 599 GTO chassis, which is pretty spectacular in itself, but he wanted something a little bit more exclusive. So the car has the 6-litre V12 power, and in addition to that, he didn't like the back end, so he had the back end redesigned into the 599XX track series model itself. He didn't like the front headlights, so he had the 488 Italia headlights fitted on, and the hood is designed a little bit more like the F12, the Ferrari F12, which came afterwards. The wheels are completely bespoke to the SP30, and the interior is a mix of the 599 and the 612 Otto series. So the car shouldn't work, but strangely it actually does. It's actually not too bad. But the reason why this is newsworthy is because this car's been knocking around since 2012. So Chirag's done a runner. His company is seriously in debt, and he's escaped from Dubai and run off back to India, I guess. And this car is sitting in Texas at a supercar dealer in Texas, and they're trying to sell it. They've been trying to sell it for a long time, and they haven't sold it yet. Nobody wants to buy it. And I don't know whether it's because of price or they just don't like the sort of unusual design of the vehicle itself. But it's for sale and it's just not selling. So if you want a bargain, I guess, Special Projects Ferrari, which is a complete one-off. This is probably the one to get. It probably drives amazingly well because of all the extra aeros on the 599 GTO body. Anyhow, there you go, you're up to date. So if you want any more information about any of these articles, just check out our website, supercartribe.com. I'll also have links in the description below to these articles directly. And that's it. So next week we'll be back with another Supercar News of the Week, bringing you up to date with all the latest happenings in the world of supercars. So if you don't want to wait a week, we actually have 5 videos coming out each week now. So you can check those out on our website simply by subscribing, and then you'll be notified.